because it's time to dig into more unanswered questions. We've been doing this division by division. We kicked it off yesterday in the NFC East. Now we go to the NFC North. It's their turn. And I want to start with the Bears. You know, I love Chicago. It's where I grew up. I love the direction the team's headed in under Ryan Poles. I love it all. They're not yelling.
What's the question?
They're yelling. I want everyone to yell at me today. Get to the question. Here's the question for Chicago. Is Justin Fields as good as we think? That's what it is. Plenty of reasons to be excited about Justin last year. We saw some awesome runs. They were explosive, highlight reel throws, big-time fantasy performances, but the Bears still finished with the worst record in the NFL. I'm not saying that it's Justin's fault. I think the Bears roster was super flawed, especially when it comes to receiving core and the offensive line. I don't think that's the case anymore. Take a look at these additions. Oh, this makes my heart sing. The Bears made the trade for DJ Moore. They spent their first rounder on tackle Darnell Wright to strengthen the O-line. They add Robert Tonyan, Deontay Foreman, Nate Davis. Listen, they took some skill players in the middle rounds as well. So GM Ryan Poles, he's gone all in to try to support his guy, and that is a wonderful thing, and it's exactly what you want to see as someone from Chicago, or if you're just a Bears fan from anywhere. But it really puts it all on Justin. That's true. Listen, we've surrounded you with all the support you need. If you can't thrive here, tough, okay? So while last year the feeling was kind of, you know, we know this team isn't going to be a contender right now. We just want to see good things out of Justin. That's all I wanted last year. Now it's time to start winning some games. We need some W's in that column, okay? And that's about way more than stats, and it's about way more than highlight reels. And I will say this, I believe in Fields, and I do think Chicago found their quarterback and has him. But there are things that need to be proven before we can remove the think from the equation and consider Justin one of the upperclassmen of the quarterbacks in this league. All right, let's try this again. Now take a look at, you guys can tweet the show, by the way, at Up and Adam Show. And we would love for you to do that. I love getting tweets during the program. So thanks for joining us this morning. Let's take a look at Detroit. Let's go up there to Motor City. People might think, oh, she's going to bring up the question about Jared Goff. Is he good? But that actually isn't my question for them. Start yelling at me. God.
What's the question? Get to the question.
Come on. It's not about Jared Goff. I love you. I just love everything about you. It's not about Jared Goff. It's not about anything. He deserves a lot of credit. This Lions team does. They finished in the mix while having a 30-second total defense.
Get to the question.
Okay, I'll get to the question. My question for the Lions is this: did they do enough to help the defense? The defense was so terrible. Listen, take a look at here. They made some big moves. Okay, these are the defensive additions. Landing C.J. Gardner-Johnson in free agency to get corners Cameron Sutton and Emmanuel Mosley, and they addressed all three levels of the defense in the draft. They get their mammoth linebacker Jack Campbell out of Iowa in the first. They got Brian Branch, who I love, the first little friend of the show, DB, out of Bama. That's a second rounder for them. And a big nose tackle, Broderick Martin out of Western Kentucky, that they took in the third round. But their decisions weren't non-controversial, okay? There are people questioning the move to draft running back Gibbs out of Alabama, 12th overall, with cornerback Gonzalez on the board. Gonzalez, of course, went to the Patriots. Do you want to draft a linebacker like Campbell when there were other premium positions available? Question mark. We will see how the moves pan out. But if this Lions defense, man, if they're even in the middle of the pack when it comes to the whole league, at any point this season, and this offense, which was top 5, continues to be top 5 the way it did during that 7-2 stretch that they had to end the year, I think there's a really good chance we do see the Lions claim their first division title since 1993. And I believe, Connor, tell me if I'm wrong, that the Lions odds are over at FanDuel Sportsbook right now. If you want to get down on it early and have a little fun, the Lions looking down upon everybody else below them in the NFC North, including the Packers. So the Packers, they're going through it. They're going through a major transition right now. Aaron Rodgers is gone. But it doesn't mean they're going to be irrelevant this year, right?
What's the question?
Fair question.
Hold on. It's a franchise that's had 5 losing seasons, guys. Only 5 losing seasons in 31 years.
So what's the question?
Get to it.
The question is pretty obvious. What is Jordan Love? Baby, don't hurt me no more. Okay, what is Jordan Love? He's probably the biggest mystery. I would behoove you? What is that? What? I would like you to find a bigger NFL mystery this year and tweet me at Up and Adam Show. What is a bigger mystery? Jordan Love is it. The question is clear. Okay, so stop yelling. The question's clear. I think people are underestimating the impact that the answer might have. There were celebrations. There was confetti and t-shirt guns around the NFC North when Rodgers was traded to New York. But fans did not learn anything from Favre to Rodgers and that situation that happened. Come on, I'm not saying Love will be as good as Rodgers, but he's a talented guy, okay? He's a good quarterback. He went in the first round for a reason, and this roster still has a ton of juice. This standoff doesn't happen between Rodgers and between the Packers and the Jets. The trade doesn't happen unless the Packers are completely comfortable with what they've got. And Goody pulled off a complete overhaul of Love's weapons, okay? He snags a receiver, Jaden Reed, in the second round. He gets a couple of tight ends. You got Tucker Kraft, Luke Musgraves, second and third round picks there, and two other receivers later in the draft. I'm just saying, there's not one team in this division that has proven enough to overlook the Packers. I will say that. And I love the Lions. And the Vikings were really exciting last year. And Chicago's got the good things happening, good things coming. Nobody has made it a shut book case that the Packers are just not going to be at the top. So that's what I would say. The question is, all right, finally.
There better be a question.
There is a question. And I want to handle this a little gently. This is a tortured fan base. It really is. Last year's division champs, the Vikings. They've got to be so pissed. FanDuel Sportsbook, Lions at the top. Jared Goff-led Lions are leading. What are we doing here? It was a big year for Minnesota last year. It's an even bigger one in 2023. They have not won back-to-back NFC North titles since 2008, 2009.
Get to the question.
Come on, Jay.
So, you just throw a paper ball at me? Oh my God, I was going to flashbacks to 7th grade. Matthew Neerman he used to wear a Brett Favre jersey. We're not going down that thing. This kid used to wear a Packers jersey and he used to throw things at me in class. So this one's for you. About the Vikings, though. My question for Minnesota is,
Get to it.
Are the Vikings good or are they fake good? What is the good? Yeah. Listen, despite their 13-4 record, the analytics did not love the Vikings last year, and the Giants bounced them in the first round in the playoffs. I don't know if I've ever seen a 13-team win get so little love. I hate it for you. But before we pin it all on Kirk Cousins, the passing game was the biggest strength of this team last year. This team's biggest issue came in the run game. They were 27th. And, by the way, on defense, where only the Lions were worse. And they weren't able to do a ton to improve this offseason because they only had 6 picks in the draft. And they lost some key vets like Patrick Peterson and Adam Thielen. So while last year they were a trendy pick to win the North, and they followed through. This year, it seems like everybody's on the outs. If you look at the updated odds, and here they go, and you can see where it all shakes out. Over if you want to have some fun on FanDuel Sportsbook. This is after the draft now. The Vikings are tied with the Bears for the longest odds to win the division. Minnesota, are you going to take this disrespect? Are you going to fall apart after a rough end to this season? Or are you going to use this chip on your shoulder to shut everybody up? This is a contract year for Kirk Cousins. And if a playoff run doesn't happen, you may be closing in on that R word, the rebuild in Minnesota. Kirk Cousins historically does pretty well in a contract year, so we'll see how it goes. But those are my questions.
Great questions.
Thank you for the NFC North. All I wanted was for Drew to yell at me. I said it in the production meeting. If he starts yelling at me, it'll make my day, but he didn't. He's just smiling. And he says, "You're lovely, you're beautiful." All right, we'll be back. We've got Shams Charania on the program. You see him on Run It Back. You see him breaking draft news for the NFL. And now he's here with us on Up and Adams. We'll be back.